Like my name, I'm part fish, not literally. You'll see what I'm talking about. Before I continue, please like and subscribe to MSA. I was actually born at sea. My parents owned this big old ship and worked in the freight business, so I pretty much grew up loving the water. I never got seasick, swam with the dolphins like it was no big deal, and even took the wheel sometimes with my dad. It was my dream to be the youngest sailor to do a round trip around the world. And I worked really hard for that. Since I was homeschooled and Dad didn't have much time, my only source of information was the internet and Mr. Ethan. He was Dad's best friend and an experienced sailor. Every time he'd come over with a new consignment, he'd get me all these cool navigation gadgets. But the best part was when he taught me how to navigate by the stars, listen to the wind, and read paper maps.
Technology is great, but knowing how to read the sea is what makes you a true sailor.
Life on the sea was amazing, but everything changed on my 17th birthday. Dad had gone to the city to get me gifts, and I was waiting for him when I saw him talking to some suspicious-looking men. And then they shoved a bundle of cash in his hands and walked away. What was that all about?
Nothing, just some work thing. And look what I got you.
Dad quickly changed the subject, and I got distracted by the gifts and forgot all about those shady men. A few days later, I was passing by my parents' cabin when I heard them having a conversation with Mr. Ethan, and it did not sound friendly.
I don't think this is a good idea.
That's because you don't have a family, Ethan, but we have a daughter, and we need to think about her future.
She's like my daughter too.
Then maybe you need to make smarter decisions. Then I heard the door open, and Mr. Ethan walked out, and I never saw him again. I kept asking my parents what really happened, but all they would say was that Mr. Ethan got a better job in the city and wouldn't be coming back. I felt bad, since Uncle Ethan was practically family, but my parents didn't want to talk about it, so I didn't push, and life went on. Things were fine for a while, until a month later. I was busy cleaning the deck when I heard some noise. I looked down and saw a boy screaming for help, flopping his arms in the water like a rabid chicken. Without thinking, I grabbed a life buoy, tossed it overboard, and dove in after him. I made him grab the life buoy and turned back to swim to our ship, but to my horror, it had already started moving away. I screamed, but no one heard me, so I had no choice but to swim to shore. Exhausted, we collapsed on the sand as soon as we reached land.
You're You're bleeding.
Thanks. Sorry, what? The boy wrapped his shirt around my wound, and I couldn't stop staring at his perfect body.
All better. I'm Jason, by the way. Thanks for saving me.
Serena, what were you even doing that far in the sea?
I was at a yacht party when one of my friends decided fireworks were a great idea. I freaked out, lost my balance, and the next thing I know, I was struggling for my life. My friends were too busy clicking selfies, so none of them saw me. I really owe you my life.
It's no big deal. Anyway, my parents... Oh my god, my parents! They must be losing it! I scrambled to my feet and ran to a phone booth to call them, but no one answered. I tried again, then called Mr. Ethan, but still nothing. I kept trying, hoping someone would pick up, but no one did. Jason noticed my worry and suggested we waited out at his place, and since I had nowhere else to go, I agreed. We were in a cab, and Jason was telling me how his dad was a diplomat from England, when suddenly my stomach started turning. This was the first time I was in a car, and it was making me sick. But before I could warn Jason, I threw up all over his clothes. We were getting cleaned up at a nearby restroom when suddenly my eyes caught the TV. And I froze. My parents' faces were plastered on the screen, and the news anchor was saying that there had been a bust at the port that night, and my parents had been arrested on charges of smuggling gold.
Serena, are you okay? You're not blinking.
But I couldn't talk. My parents were criminals? How?
Okay, now I'm seriously freaking out. Maybe we should go to a hospital first.
What? No, I'm fine. Can we go home? I don't feel too good. The air conditioning is making me dizzy. Jason agreed, and we got another cab. His place was nothing short of a palace, but all I could focus on was the shocking news. That night, I tossed and turned, missing my home and trying to make sense of everything, till eventually I passed out. And the next morning, I woke up to this girl screaming in my face.
Get off my boyfriend's bed! Thief! Intruder! How the heck did you get up here?
Listen, I tried to explain, but she wasn't having it. Instead, she grabbed a ridiculous vase and started chasing me around the room. Jason heard the noise and walked in, and as soon as she saw him, she dropped the vase and pulled him into a hug.
Oh, my poor baby. I can't believe you fell into the ocean like that. Baby, I can't believe you fell into the ocean like that. I cried so much, my eyes got all puffy. I took 3 snail mucus facials to calm my face down. So terrible.
I'm glad you're okay, Cora. This is Serena, by the way. She saved my life. If not for her, I'd be shark fodder by now.
Really? Then you must be a really brave Serena. I'm so sorry I screamed at you. I thought with the way you're dressed, you must be some thief. My bad. Anyway, baby boo, I'm so glad you're okay. That means you can attend the fundraiser tonight. Oh my god, that reminds me I need to get my nails done. See you later. Bye, Sabrina.
Serena.
Sorry about that. Cora can be, well, she's something. Anyway, I spoke to my dad, and he thinks he can help track down your parents. It's the least I can do to repay you for saving my life.
It's really not that big of a deal.
Of course it is. I owe you my life, and your parents must be worried sick about you.
Honestly, they're probably thrilled I'm not around. I'm not exactly the model child.
I refuse to believe that. You seem like someone people would love to have around. I know, I do.
He gave me a warm smile that made my heart skip a beat. Just then, his butler told us that breakfast was ready, and we went downstairs. After eating, I borrowed Jason's phone and lied to him, saying my parents answered and assured me they were okay and would pick me up in a few days. I couldn't tell him the truth, and with his dad being a diplomat, I wasn't sure how much more complicated things could get. So I asked Jason if it was okay to crash at his place for a few more days, and he gladly agreed. That evening, as he got ready for a fundraiser, I slipped out of the house and went to the police station where my parents were being detained. I thought I'd talk to them and clear up the confusion, but when I got there, I heard the cops talking to the chief.
Some of the gold we've recovered is fake. We're pretty sure these smugglers hid them somewhere.
Or maybe their daughter has it. Track her down.
They were talking about me. My heart immediately started pounding, and I quickly left. Things were even worse than I thought. I was still thinking about it the next day when Jason told me that Cora was having a party at her place and if I'd be willing to go. I could use a distraction. So I said yes, but I had nothing to wear, so Jason took me shopping. Wait, what just happened? Did you just do magic?
What? No, that's just my credit card. Why do you look so shocked? You've never seen a credit card before?
I mean, I have heard of it, but never seen one in real life. And is this like real money?
Pretty much. You want to try?
And Jason let me swipe everywhere we went after that. I was so happy. I couldn't stop giggling. But then we went to Cora's place, and all my happiness faded.
Hey, handsome. Oh, I see you got Marina with you.
Serena! Seriously, Cora, it's not a very hard name to remember.
I know, babe. I'm sorry. It's just that my brain malfunctions when I see your gorgeous face.
Whatever, I'm gonna get drinks.
The second Jason left, Cora's smile dropped, and she glared at me.
Why are you buzzing around my boyfriend like a bee? Get off him and go to whatever rat hole you climbed out of.
What's your problem? Jason's only trying to help me, okay? I'm not interested in him romantically.
Really? That drool on your left lip suggests otherwise. Listen to me very carefully. Jason is my boyfriend, and soon we will be getting engaged to marry. If you come in between my perfect life, I will end you.
I started to say something, but Jason returned, and Cora acted like nothing had happened. Throughout the evening, she tried everything to put me down, but Jason kept defending me, which only made her angrier. I was managing fine until I saw Cora's dad, and my heart nearly stopped. He was the chief of police I'd seen at the station. I wanted to hide, but with Cora watching me like a hawk, I pretended everything was fine. Luckily, Jason and I left soon after, but from that day on, Cora was always around. She practically moved into Jason's life, inviting him to parties, staying for dinner, never leaving his side. I get that she was his girlfriend, but she was extremely clumsy and annoying.
We should totally have a boat party.
I'm not so sure, Cora. I'm still a bit shaken after that last incident.
Oh, come on. It'll be fun. Plus, my brother Levi just got his boating license, and he's dying to show off. I'm sure you'll have a blast once we're on that boat.
Can Serena come?
I don't see why not.
Cora smiled, but inside, I knew she was burning. And the next morning, we all met at the port. We were boarding the boat when I felt something was off. The sky was darker than it should have been, and birds were flying in the opposite direction, a sure sign that a storm was brewing. Guys, I think there's a storm coming.
Yeah, right. Look, the sky's clear, and the weather forecast says it's gonna be a sunny day. If you're too scared, feel free to stay behind, but don't ruin the fun for the rest of us.
And Cora just hopped onto the boat. I knew it wasn't safe, but I couldn't leave. With the judge, Jason came over to me.
After you were arrested, I went to talk to Cora's dad. I overheard him talking to Mr. Ethan. It turns out they were both involved in the smuggling ring. Cora was the one who planted the gold in your room. She was trying to help her father, I guess. Anyway, I recorded everything, so this should be enough to get you and your parents out of here.
Thank you. I don't know how I can ever repay you.
Just teach me to swim, so I don't end up needing to be saved again.
Deal. As predicted, Jason's lawyer presented the evidence, and my parents and I were freed, while Cora, her dad, and Mr. Ethan faced charges. We never heard from Mr. Ethan again, but Jason and I are still in touch, and I can tell he's a great swimmer. Ohio. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to MSA. School was always a breeze for me. I aced all my classes, math, English, science, you name it, all A's. But grades were never my main concern because I had a bigger dream, to become an Olympic gymnast. My gymnastics coach Jenny saw potential in me. I was her star student, and she was confident I'd bring home a gold medal someday. Jenny was more than a coach to me. She was like a second mom. She'd invite me over for dinner after practices, and I found myself going over quite often. You see, my own mom wasn't a bad person, but we didn't always get along perfectly. She was often moody and quick to anger, which made my 3 older brothers keep their distance as much as possible. I knew she wasn't a bad person. She was just a bit challenging at times, and hanging out with Jenny just felt easier. One night, after a really hard practice, Jenny saw I was feeling down, so she took me to her place, picked out some inspiring sports movies, and got my favorite snacks ready. Ava, when you're out there, you're not just doing gymnastics, you're showing everyone what it means to love what you do. That's why you're amazing. We laughed, cried a bit watching the movies, and talked about our dreams, but Jenny had one flaw. Her daughter, Becca, a year older than me, often behaved like she was 5 years younger than me. She was impulsive and wild. Becca would dress weirdly and act irrationally, and she never respected Jenny. During dinner one time, she showed up wearing the brightest neon colors and chewing gum. You know, Mom, I always thought I looked like you, but today, I looked in the mirror and I suddenly realized that I was pretty, like model pretty. So there's no way I look like you because, Mom, let's face it, you're ugly. Well, I'd love for my daughter to be prettier than me. Any real mom would love that. Real mom? Yeah, right. You're a hypocrite who's too busy kissing her trainee's butt for some extra money. No, she's nice to me because I'm good with her and treat her well. So why don't you go home and be good with your own mom? This is not normal. You have your family, spend time with them. Try it. That's enough. It's okay, Jenny. I'm leaving anyway. Are you joining us for breakfast? Then maybe Mom might make breakfast for a change. Otherwise, she's hurrying off every morning for your training sessions. And with that, she left for some late party. Jenny apologized to me and I said it was fine. I kissed her cheek and left. But after that day, Jenny suddenly changed. She became distant and colder towards me. Then, unexpectedly, she said she couldn't be my coach anymore. With the Olympic trials just a month away, I couldn't understand why. Why, Coach? Why are you quitting on me now? You're amazing, really. Is it because of Becca? I promise, I'll stop hanging out at your place. She wouldn't spill what was really going on. She just kept crying and saying she was sorry and then shut down her gym. Next thing I knew, she'd even moved from her current place. I was crushed. I stayed in my room for days, feeling really down. I thought I was done with gymnastics. Without Jenny, it seemed pointless. I swore I'd never practice again. My brothers did their best to make me feel better. They even tried reaching out to Jenny, but no luck there. Then one day, Mom came into my room and said something that really hit me hard. You're my favorite, and it hurts me to see you this sad. I know it's tough, but your talent and determination make me so proud to be your mom. Maybe you could try to start training again? What Mom said really affected me. Even though she had always let me do what I wanted, I never really knew she appreciated my talent so much. I decided to push away the hurt I felt at being let down by Jenny and focus on the love I had for my real mom. And her encouragement made it feel right to pick up gymnastics again. But little did I know, training for the Olympics on my own would be a lot harder than I'd imagined, especially when I found out that Olivia, the richest and most popular girl in school, was a gymnast too, and she was going to do anything to get me to give up. She'd turn up in the gym whenever I was practicing and kept ruining my focus with her dumb comments. Next, my equipment started disappearing from my locker. I knew it was Olivia trying to sabotage me, so I started hiding it in the school boiler room. Olivia had a boyfriend named Derek. He was a nice guy, not like Olivia at all. He wasn't rich or from her social circle, and I thought Olivia was only with him because he was attractive and seemed perfect. They often fought in public. Olivia would yell at him, calling him terrible names. When he finally said he wanted to break up, she'd start crying and begging for forgiveness, making a scene until he stayed. Even though she was richer and more powerful, she acted as if he was the boss in their relationship, which was odd because she was usually so tough and bossy. One day, while I was practicing my routine in the school gymnasium, Derek saw me do 2 full rotations in a pike position during basketball practice.
Whoa, Ava, that was amazing. How'd you learn to do that?
I told him I was naturally good at most sports, and we were having a good time talking when Olivia walked into the gym, and when she saw the 2 of us together, she got jealous. Nice shirt, Ava. Where did you get it from? The Lost and Found?
Whoa, babe, that wasn't very nice.
Are you joking, Derek? It looks awful. saw the two of us together, she got jealous. Nice shirt, Ava. Where did you get it from? The Lost and Found?
Whoa, babe, that wasn't very nice.
Are you joking, Derek? It looks awful.
I don't think it's awful at all. Why are you always like this?
As the two of them started fighting, I walked out of the gym to avoid their drama. Then, later that day, Derek caught up with me and said he and Olivia had broken up.
Ava, would you like to have dinner with me sometime?
Are you asking me out?
Yeah, is that okay?
Isn't it too soon? You just broke up with Olivia.
I've broken up with her 100 times before, Ava. Our relationship's been over for a long time, but if you don't feel comfortable with this, I understand.
I guess losing my coach and training alone had made me feel quite low lately, and Derek seems like a nice guy, so I said yes. That was a huge mistake. At first, Derek was great. He was fun and seemed to care a lot, and I appreciated his love and support. But after a few days, Derek started to act like I owed him everything. He got super clingy and always wanted me to hang out with him. I can't today. I have practice.
I don't get it. I left Olivia for you because I thought you were nicer, but you're just an arrogant snob.
Suddenly, I could see through him. He was just trying to mess with my head. Maybe even Olivia had put him up to it to throw me off my training. I see what you're up to, Derek, but why? Are you just playing games like you did with Olivia? Or are you caught up in Olivia's games?
Do you really see what I'm up to? Here's a clue. Coach Jenny.
What does Coach Jenny have to do with you?
Let me spell it out for you. Becca, Jenny's daughter.
What? Why would you be involved with that psycho?
Don't call her that, okay? I don't like that.
Oh, wow. So there is someone who sent you to ruin my life, but it's not Olivia. It's Becca?
Oh, Olivia's nobody. Her tough act is just a facade. She's the weakest person I've met. I had the best time with her. She'd buy me whatever food I wanted. Yes, she's crazy and would call me names whenever I drove her mad, but she'd regret it instantly like a scared toddler.
Okay, listen. I'm bored of this drama already. It's over, we're over. I go back to my training, and you go back to your girl. Olivia if you're hungry, or Becca if you're thirsty.
You might actually want to head home and see what's going on there.
What do you mean by that?
After what we did to Jenny, you think we'd stop? It's your turn, babe.
What do you mean? What did you do to Jenny?
Man, you're annoying. I'm out of here. Just go home.
With that, he stormed off. I felt a mix of confusion and worry. What had they done to Jenny? And what was happening at my house? Driven by fear, I rushed home, and upon arriving, I was shocked to see smoke billowing from the house. I ran to my neighbors, who immediately called 911. The police and firefighters arrived on the scene in minutes. Fortunately, nobody was home, so there were no injuries. And because I got there when I did, the house didn't suffer much damage. I shared Derek's comments with the police, but they got back to me later saying he denied having said anything of the sort, and they had no proof to take any action against him. Also, when they'd tracked Jenny's address down and gone to her place, her daughter had answered the door saying she was completely fine. Becca can't be trusted. Can you please give me the address so I can make sure?
That's private information, ma'am. We can't disclose it. You are not related to Miss Jenny in any way, and if her daughter says she is okay, we have no reason to believe otherwise.
After the fire incident, I felt upset and lost and unable to focus on anything. Finally, I decided to meet up with Olivia and told her everything, who was apparently also fed up with Derek for being a manipulative jerk. I know we're not friends, but sometimes you have to join forces with an enemy to take down a common one. Do you have any clue what Derek meant? He once introduced me to his cousin named Becca, which was obviously a lie. He talked about her having a rough time with her mom and said he was helping her. I actually have Becca's number. Can you reach out to her? Get her to meet me, please? I have to find out if Jenny is okay. I might do that. Or maybe even more. My dad can hire someone to track down Jenny for you. And in exchange, you want me to back out of the competition so you have a better shot at winning, huh? Exactly. Deal. But for now, can you arrange a meeting with her? Just tell her you want to meet her. Don't mention me, of course. The night before the big meetup with Becca, I couldn't shake off the unease. I was about to trade my dreams for some peace of mind. All the sweat and tears I'd shed in the gym would go to waste. But I also needed to know if Jenny was okay. So I ended up pouring my heart out to my mom. I didn't expect much, honestly. But Mom, in her own surprising way, gave me the clarity I desperately needed. Ava, sometimes the hardest choices reveal our true priorities. It's not just about winning or losing. It's about what you're willing to fight for. Remember, your value isn't measured by a medal, but by the courage to follow your heart, even when it leads down a difficult path. Her words resonated with me. I was going to meet Becca tomorrow. When I arrived at the cafe, Olivia was waiting for me at the entrance. Her look had a hint of sympathy. Becca isn't alone. Jenny is here too, and I think there's There's something wrong here. It's like Becca treats Jenny as a slave. She brought her to this meeting to hold her bags and stuff. I was stunned for a few moments. The thought of seeing Jenny made me emotional. Olivia stayed with me for a couple of minutes outside until I calmed down. Then I went inside. Ava, you can't be here. Tears welled up in my eyes. Then I went inside. Ava, you can't be here. Tears welled up in my eyes. Why? What's going on? Ugh, here come the tears. Let's hold hands and cry. What are you even doing here, Ava? Ava, you know I care about you, but Becca, she's... What, Mom? Say it, Jenny. This is your chance. Becca, you've been unstable. She threatened me, Ava. It was getting out of hand. One day, she tried to do what she and Derek did to your house while locking me in the bathroom. She said she'd let me out, only if I promised to close my gym and stop training you. I'd do anything to ruin you and Ava. Derek and I have more plans. Derek is the only one who loves me and worships me. I always loved you, but I couldn't make you happy. Oh, shut up. Suddenly, Becca lunged at her mom. Right then, police officers surrounded us and restrained Becca.
Becca, you're going to need to come with us. We've heard enough, and it sounds serious. So you and Derek might be facing juvenile detention.
Olivia and I had called the police beforehand in case Becca made any confessions, and they heard everything. Thanks, Olivia. Giving up the competition felt worth it. Actually, I think you should compete. May the best girl win. Why help me now, Olivia? I realized winning only means something if I compete with the best, and that's you, Ava. I guess this is me trying to do the right thing for once. So this is about respect? Yeah, respect. And maybe a bit of trying to be better myself. I'm sorry for everything, Ava. She winked and walked away. Overwhelmed with gratitude, I hugged Jenny again, although I could feel how hurt she was over Becca. Looks like we're back to the hard training, just like old times. And Becca, she'll always be my daughter. I'll do my best to help her, even if she pushes me away. 2 weeks later, standing on the stage, I won first place. Surrounded by my proud mom, Jenny's joy, my brother's support, and even Olivia's half smile, I felt on top of the world. True victory comes from within, beyond any medal. As I slowly woke up.
She's awake!
Your Highness, you're awake! Huh? Your Highness? What was happening? Hey there, I'm Bella, and I'm about to take you through a whirlwind of royal troubles. Ready for some royal chaos? Hit that like button and subscribe. Right after waking up, the doctor came in checking on me and asking a bunch of questions.
You've had an accident. You've been out for 3 weeks. Do you remember your name? Can you name an animal that starts with E?
Good news, I knew my name and my family's names. Bad news, I couldn't remember anything about my life. And here's the shocker. The doctor said I might never get my memories back. I was super confused when my family came rushing in. My sister Aurora, just a year younger than me and a huge gossip, tried to update me on all the royal news, but my mom stopped her. Let her be. She just woke up. But Mom, she'll want to know everything. Right, Bella?
Aurora, that's enough!
That's my dad, the king.
Bella, you gave us a fright. No more football for you.
You need to rest now, Bella. I was surprised my parents didn't hug me or kiss my forehead. I mean, I just woke up from a coma. Later, Aurora snuck back in and started telling me about my life, which sounded pretty awesome. You're a star athlete, you have a boyfriend named Vincent. A boyfriend? Where is he? And you're a total rebel. You never listen to Mom and Dad. A rebel? But why? Because they want you to marry some prince. But you're in love with Vincent. Why? Don't they like my boyfriend? He's not a prince. You went on 2 dates with him and you were really into him. Your phone was broken in the accident, so you can't check your messages. You two were like lovebirds. Cool. Is he rich? Yeah, a lot. His dad is a big businessman, but Mom and Dad want a prince for you. To be honest, they're pretty happy you got amnesia. They hope you'll stop biting them. Thanks for the heads up, love. I owe you. As I tried to pick up the pieces of my life over the weeks, my only friend was Aurora, who kept telling me little bits of my life before amnesia. One day, Mom and Dad insisted that we do a press release. Ugh, do we have to?
The future queen should certainly do that.
It certainly is not in that outfit. Here, dress like a princess. Hey, I never got a press conference after I broke my leg last year. Aurora, please be quiet now. Not everything is about you. Guards, come take her outside. I was shocked how they talked to her, and she kept screaming while the guards dragged her away. Then, Mom dumped a super frilly pink outfit on me. Just 5 minutes later, Aurora sent me an SOS message. They're about to announce your wedding. As if this outfit wasn't bad enough, now they planned this? I was livid. So, during the announcement, I demanded to speak.
Wonderful! Let's hear from our future queen!
But they didn't expect what came next. Ever heard that chickens have impressive memories? Maybe if I were from a royal chicken lineage, I'd remember more. Dad was livid and grounded me for a week, despite my illness.
Sick or not, a future queen cannot act this way!
That night, I was chatting with Aurora when my parents suddenly came in, followed by 3 daughters who looked pretty intimidating. More like butchers than medical professionals. Aurora, leave, now. Why? What are you planning to do to her? Then, Mom signaled a bodyguard, and he dragged Aurora away as she shouted, "Don't listen to them!" One doctor opened his case, revealing a long, frightening needle. I screamed until everything went dark. My parents were unbelievable, but thank God I had Aurora. Over the weeks, Aurora filled me in on my life before college started. She gave me my diary too, reading that I was super anxious to see my boyfriend. A week later, I was finally ready to go back to college. It was a crazy fancy place where only kids from royal and super rich families study. As Aurora and I walked in, flanked by a mini army of security guards, I spotted him, Vincent, my boyfriend. He stood there with a bouquet of roses and gave me a warm, inviting smile. Aurora winked at me and walked away. My heart was racing. I felt like I was back in my teenage years. Vincent came over, looking at me with so much affection.
Can I hug you?
I couldn't help but smile and nod. As he hugged me, he said, my heart was racing. I felt like I was back in my teenage years. Vincent came over, looking at me with so much affection.
Can I hug you?
I couldn't help but smile and nod. As he hugged me, he said,
You look beautiful, Bella. I've missed you a lot. It felt like I was seeing your face everywhere.
We chatted for a while, and he was so polite and respectful. Vincent spent the day introducing me to people, helping me remember who was who from before I lost my memory. I met a few friends, which felt a bit strange, but having Vincent there made things feel more comfortable. Later on, he mentioned that he and my friends planned a party to help jog my memory. That might be too much for me.
I get it. But how about you try the party, and if it feels overwhelming, we can leave and spend the rest of the night just the 2 of us.
His idea sounded good, so I agreed. That evening, my parents said the doctors were coming again, so I was even more eager to head out to the party. Vincent texted, saying he was waiting outside, but how could I sneak past the guards in a fancy dress and heels? I grabbed my heels in one hand and my purse in the other, then quietly climbed out of the window and tumbled into the bushes. Luckily, the security wasn't too tight, so I managed to avoid them and got to Vincent's car. The party was okay, but after just an hour, I started feeling a sharp pain in my body. Vincent quickly called his driver to take me home, and he even paid him extra to keep quiet about it. As I sneaked through the garden to my room, I heard footsteps behind me and felt a bit scared. Come out, or I'll whoop your butt. Then I accidentally bumped into someone, and without thinking, I flip them over. Who are you?
I'm Dylan, the gardener.
I helped him up. Sorry about that.
It's okay. I'll survive.
He gave me a wink that made me blush. Girl, you have a boyfriend. Stay focused. Can I ask you something? Do you know what I was like before?
Not really. I'm new in this job, but you kept to yourself. Seemed a bit snobby and arrogant.
Oh, wow. Thanks for being honest. Before he could say any more, Aurora rushed over and pulled me away. What are you doing talking to him? He's just a gardener. The next morning, my parents were really mad at me. Turns out, Dylan the gardener told on me. So, Aurora said we should keep things quiet for a while until things calmed down. One night, feeling really upset, I snuck out and climbed a tree in the garden. I just needed to think. Then I heard a voice.
Why is a pretty princess like you up in a tree?
Oh, it's the snitch.
I don't know what you're talking about. Can I come up? I've got something to say.
Sure, why not? Dylan tried to climb up, but he wasn't very good at it. When he finally got up, he was all messy. For a cute guy, you're not very sporty.
So, you think I'm cute? That's good to know. Now, what's bothering?
Honestly, I didn't expect to spill guts to the gardener, but I guess I just someone to listen, and you seem genuine, so... So, here it goes. I ended up telling Dylan everything. It was so easy to talk to him.
Man, that sucks.
That's all you've got? You're not great at giving advice.
Can't argue with that. But hey, I stole a chocolate bar from the kitchen today. You want some?
Sure, why not? I ended up staying with Dylan until sunrise. For the next few weeks, I hung out with Dylan whenever I could, and it was great, but I felt guilty. Vincent was a nice guy, and I didn't hate spending time with him either. But as time went on, I started to prefer Dylan's company over Vincent's. It puzzled me why I'd rather spend time with Dylan. Maybe my amnesia and the medicines were really messing with my feelings. Then one evening, I found Vincent in my room unexpectedly. Vincent, what are you doing here?
You've been acting distant. Is something wrong?
I didn't know what to say. How about I show you around the palace?
I was hoping for a different answer, but okay. Let's spend time together.
He kept asking why I was acting different. I dodged his questions, but he persisted. Then we reached the royal jewelry room.
If you need space, just say so. It'll hurt, but I'll understand.
In my rush to change the subject, I quickly entered the passcode on the digital keypad and let him inside. Get ready to be amazed. This is where we keep all the royal jewelry. Isn't it beautiful? Vincent was stunned. Then Aurora burst in. Bella, why is he here? Mom and Dad would freak out. He needs to leave now. After leaving the room, Aurora went to her bedroom. Vincent looked at me, clearly hurt.
Maybe I should leave. Reach out when you want to talk, or actually, maybe don't. Bella, you ignore me and act superior. The only reason people respect you is your royal status, and that's just luck, not an achievement.
With that, he left, and I was shocked that he just said that. Later that night, I was jolted awake by loud yelling outside the royal jewelry room. The family tiara, passed down for 5 generations, is gone. I froze. Vincent? But he was with me the whole time. Then a bodyguard approached us.
We found someone on the security footage you need to see.
We rushed to the security room. My heart sank as I watched the video. There was Vincent, hiding the tiara in his jacket while my back was turned to him, looking at Aurora.
Not only are you seeing the guy we've said no to multiple times, but you also showed him the jewelry room? What's wrong with you?
We've been patient with you because the doctor said you needed time to adjust. But this is unacceptable.
And how did he even get in? Your Highness, our check showed the cameras were off and only started recording when Bella began her tour with Vincent. Really? Bella, did you think you could outsmart Earth?
I don't No! Please stop yelling at me! Then everything went black, and I fainted. When I woke up, Aurora was by my side, telling me I'd been out for 12 hours. The police were now looking for Vincent. Just then, Mom stormed in. Your father is furious. He can't even look at you. But I'm here to tell you that you're no longer the future queen. We've decided Aurora will take that role. You think I care? Well, guess what? I don't. But Mom, I don't want to be a princess either. I can't stand it. It's not up for discussion. And she left us there. Throughout the week, I felt more and more anxious. The guards were always around, keeping an eye on me, and Vincent was nowhere to be seen. One day, as I sat in the garden, Dylan came over. He acted like he was just doing his job, but then he quietly said to me,
Your parents aren't really bad. They're strict and can be a pain, yes, but they never wanted you to marry any prince. Aurora made that up. You should look into it.
How do you know all this?
Us servants hear everything. We catch all the gossip.
Later that night, I went to talk to Aurora in her room, planning to lie to get her to reveal something. Why do you think Vincent stole the tiara? I think he was upset you preferred hanging out with the gardener over him. He knew stealing the tiara would land you into trouble. Boys are dumb, and when their ego is hurt, they can act dumber. Did you hear they caught him? No, they didn't. Actually, they did. They caught him trying to leave the country. He spilled everything. Aurora, it's time to stop. Of course, that was a lie. Vincent hadn't been caught, and Aurora's explanation for why he stole the tiara actually made sense. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you feeling okay? Did you take your medicine? I know I wasn't perfect before my accident, but I wasn't a troublemaker either. You didn't need to scheme. If you really wanted the crown, you should have just told me. I would have stepped aside. Sure, as if Bella, the darling princess, would give up anything. Poor Aurora, always in Bella's shadow. That's what they say. I was happy when you got amnesia. It was my chance. What chance are you talking about? For a moment, Aurora looked lost, like she'd been caught off guard. Chance? What chance? I don't know what you mean. It doesn't matter. I recorded everything you just said. As I tried to leave, Aurora attacked me. We ended up fighting until the guards separated us. I showed my parents the recording. They were shocked and immediately called off the announcement about the crown. They were really mad at Aurora. You've gone too far. How can you hate your sister so much? Not just her. You and Dad too. They decided to send her to my royal uncle on the other side of the world, hoping it might teach her a lesson. I wasn't so sure.
I'm just glad the truth came out.
Thanks to you, and all the gossip, I guess. I'm glad I didn't lose.
Let's see, you lost your memory, your boyfriend, and your sister, and the crown, at least for now.
I don't mind. I still have you. Dylan took my hand, and I kissed him.